Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Rich with Suns Down Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about the new Lawless Time cards that I think are going to be fantastic in Twin Suns. I don't have a long list, about 8 or 9 cards that we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get started. First up is going to be, I think I'm saying it right, it's Chio Fain. I think this card is an excellent 2-drop. It's a 2/4 with an on-attack ability that I think is probably a pretty good ability for Twin Suns. On attack, you may choose 2 players. If you do, they each draw a card. So for me, I would use this probably early on as a political piece to gain a short term partner in crime, someone that's going to help me look out for my own best interests. Anybody who's played with me knows that I'm a very political Star Wars Twin Suns player, and I was the same way with the other nameless game that we will not mention here. But this also allows you at any point to kind of start pitting your opponents against each other. Letting 2 other players draw a card and someone not drawing it. I mean, yeah, they might be a little upset about them not getting to go draw a card in their 2 opponents, but it'll give them some card advantage, and then your other opponents will start thinking about them more than they will you. So for me, this rate's pretty high on my list. I think it'll be pretty popular in vigilance aggression decks, especially since it's not tied to hero or villain. Now, with this list, none of these cards are really in any particular order other than the last 1 or 2 cards. But, you know, Double Cross is a great card. I think that'll see some play. It's a 6 cost. Choose a friendly non-leader unit and an enemy non-leader unit. Exchange control of those units. The player who takes control of the lower cost unit creates credit tokens equal to the difference between those unit costs. Now, for me, this is really where, the turning point of the game is. So you could either, start to think about your end game, start creating some credit tokens, give someone your higher cost unit, make someone else the target, you take something small, anything that will kind of draw the attention off you. And I think this card does it pretty well. The downside to it, though, to me, it's not a downside, but for a lot of players, may view it as a downside that you're getting all these credit tokens. They are creating a lot of credit token hate, but the potential for the things that you could play out is pretty significant. And it allows you to be either political or efficient. But for me, I always choose chaos. And I like doing crazy things that are a lot more fun than they are always efficient. So, I don't always win my games, but I would try and play something crazy like Endless Legions, anything that I can do to have fun with something I have never done before. I'm always going to opt for the fun play. Now, something that I'm definitely not going to trade off with that double cross is this Maul unit. Well, I can't say never, but it's highly unlikely. So Maul is a 7 cost command aggression villain unit. That's a 6/8. It does have the force trait, so it's pretty important in a lot of cards nowadays. And he has overwhelm. And when the attack ends, if this unit dealt combat damage to a player's base, you may take control of a non-leader unit that player controls. So, to me, that's pretty huge. And you get to keep control of it. And it says when this unit leaves play, that unit's owner takes control of that unit. I've already thought of a couple ways that you could begin to take advantage of that when attack ends line. So there are cards like Dogfight. You could use Bravado to stand him back up again and ready him, get him ready for another attack. You could use Neiman's Strike because he is a force unit. There's all kinds of ways that you can take this, and get some base damage through. So Dogfight, you don't necessarily get to attack base with it, but Overwhelm allows you to do that base damage. So you could take out something small. You could take out and hit another opponent. You can start to steal and take these pieces. At some point, I think that we're going to see a lot of cards where you can just take possession of your opponent's stuff, and you're going to see a lot of decks doing that. And I think this does that extremely well. So the opportunity to do that with this card and just have fun. I mean, I just think this set's pretty incredible from what we've seen, and we're barely even halfway through what they're going to preview for it. So I'm pretty excited about it. Now for the set, they're really taking their design game for how cards are interacting and things that they're doing to the next level. So next up is Patient Hunter, and I think it does something fun that we haven't seen before. So in a command cunning aspects, um, it's a 3/3. But what really makes it unique is that when the regroup phase starts, you may give an experience token to a non-leader unit. If you do, that unit can't ready during this regroup phase. And to me, I mean, again, like everything I'm seeing and what I'm liking here with this set, I'm just thinking of how I'm going to use this to my advantage to play more politically and outsmart my opponent. So another great card is Khetanna. So this is a 3 cost command card. It's a 2/4 underworld trait, which is very viable. It's a vehicle. So when you play it and on the attack, the next underworld unit you play this phase costs 1 less. So if you find a way to ambush this out with like ECL, or it may even allow old leaders to come back into potential forefront like Fennec Shand. You also have timely intervention, and there are a host of other ways that you could give it ambush and get that additional 1 off for playing another underworld unit. So potential of 2. That could swing, just like credits, which you can use them all together. You use the cost reduction, the credits, and resources to start outplaying your opponent, going wider, going bigger, getting out ahead of them. So I think that this is a pretty good card. Just a 3 for a 2/4, it wouldn't be a great stat line, but with the ability, the cost reduction, it's a fantastic card for Twin Suns. So this really wouldn't be a complete list if we didn't have at least 1 space unit on here. And I think I picked the perfect one, at least for Twin Suns viability. And I didn't do it on purpose. It just kind of happened, with the way that they've spoiled the set. But it's Vermiliion. It's a cunning villainy for 6. It's a 5/7. Has all 3 of its traits are very important as far as, for abilities, having other lines of play that or make use of them. So underworld, vehicle, capital ship. So it does work with Admiral Piet. And then it has when attack ends, if this unit survived, reveal the top card of a deck. Could be any deck. But then choose a player. They may play the revealed card for free. And if they do, a different player creates credit tokens equal to that card's cost. I can't say enough about this card, to be honest. It's versatile in a huge way. And using it on yourself and having a friend make credits, setting a player up for failure and letting them play a free unit and giving credits to someone else and seeing where the chaos takes you. I mean, to me, there's so many opportunities with so many cards in the set that you really can't go wrong with it. But, this card could really be a political powerhouse to work to your advantage. This can really paint a target on someone else if you want it to. And I think that in a lot of games, you really just need to take the ire off of yourself, even if you're doing things that, if you saw happening on the table, you wouldn't let fly anyways. But it gives you that opportunity to kind of push someone else out into the limelight and take the heat off yourself. I think it's fantastic. Another unit that I think is pretty unique, and its art is very, shall I say, suggestive, but Denger. So, we have a couple of the Dengars, but I think this one might see more play than the others. But it's a 3-cost command, aggression, villainy for 4/3. Both of its traits are very widely used. So Underworld, Bounty Hunter. When a unit with the highest cost among enemy units is defeated, create a credit token. So it doesn't matter if it's one of them, all of them, there's opportunity to take advantage of it round after round. It doesn't say specifically you have to pick a certain opponent, but it could literally be any one of them. As long as it happens, you get that credit. I don't think this is as useful as all of them, but getting to play it out once and having the potential for it be triggered by the end of the phase, the first time it's out there, I think it at least deserves a recommendation to see some play, especially if you're playing like Underworld, Bounty Hunter type deck, um, anything that could play well. So bounty hunters are a very prominent trait inside the SWU universe. So it'll see some play. I don't think it'll see a lot of play, but I think it's made the list to be useful. We're getting pretty close to the end here, but I don't think this list would be complete if we didn't mention Galen Erso. So Galen Erso is a cunning 3-drop. It's a 0/5 Imperial. And when played, you may have an opponent take control of this unit. Now, the fact that it says you may is kind of interesting. I don't think there's a lot of implications there, but the fact that you could give it to yourself and give everybody else that ability to have raid 1 and Saboteur, and they all get it. So enemy units gain raid 1 and Saboteur. I don't know, in a world, maybe you're trying to play Kingmaker, group hug style, which a lot of the cards here in this list and that they're still revealing give you the opportunity to do. But it's hilarious to me. Give it away to somebody right away and just start going to town. Now, this will probably paint a huge target on your back, but it's so funny. I'm going to slap this in every cunning deck that I have just because I don't care what it is. I'm not going to call it a staple, but it's not needed. Staples, I think, are more widely needed for the deck, but it's just too funny not to. It just kind of cracks me up. But you need to watch. If someone's playing an Imperial Tribal deck, they might buff this thing up and start slapping you around with it. But I think this is top tier game design right here, especially for Twin Suns. Now, this entire list, it started out when they revealed these 2 cards. And to me, it's really kind of what I view to be some of the most fun that I predict I'm going to have in this game. Every time I play Twin Suns, I enjoy every single game. Win or lose, doesn't matter. But Max Rebo and the Max Rebo band. Wow. I just cannot wait to see the kind of chaos that comes out of this if you can get both of them on the board. Heck, even just Max Rebo. There's an additional regroup phase after the first regroup phase each round. I'm so excited about this card. I didn't even read the rest of it. It's a 4-cost command, cunning, 2/7 Underworld, and the first of its kind. At least I think. I don't think I've seen any more. Could be wrong, but musician. So getting an additional regroup phase means a whole lot. That regroup phase, you draw 2 cards, you resource 1, and you exhaust. So getting that benefit of that additional resource, that's huge. Like, I just don't know. Oh, God, I'm so amazed at the thought of this that I can't even fathom it happening because it's not something that we have in the game yet. But then when you pair it with the Max Rebo ban, creating credit tokens during that on top of it, I think it's insane. I love it. I love everything about it, and I'm absolutely here for it. Now, the Max Rebo ban, it's a 3-cost cunning command, 1/5, also an Underworld musician. When the regroup phase starts, you create a credit token. I know I mentioned it, but that specifically is what the card is. Now, you're not going to go out there and start attacking base or attacking others with it, but it's wild. Like, it's such a fun concept, and I'm so happy that we got something that's going to change the entire landscape of how the game works. And I think the real place where you're going to see that, you may see it sneak into a couple premier decks, but this is definitely going to see a lot of play in cunning command decks, or anything that people can stuff this in. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be chaos, and absolute chaos. And I think it's amazing. Wow, I'm so excited. I think that's a great list of cards so far with what's been revealed, but I can't wait to get my hands on them, start playing, having some intense games of Twin Suns with all these new cards that create these unique interactions. If you see me out there, you want to play some games at the sectors, Galactic this year, regional, I'll be judging. After that, I'll be free to play some games. Let's get some games in.